What you are watching right now is a cartoon that was made entirely by me using AI tools. Now, you've probably come across content like this before whilst you're browsing YouTube or whatever it might be, and you may have wondered, how does one even make this? Well, AI is not magic. It is not as simple as writing a prompt and hitting go and just downloading the result. There's a real process behind it. It takes work, time, and knowledge. And in this video, I'm going to show you the entire process, step by step. I'm going to break it down, and by the end of it, you'll be able to make cartoons just like this yourself. We're going to look at things like planning, storyboarding, character creation, scripting, and we're going to look at the final assembly in our editing program of choice. One of the key subjects we'll be looking at throughout is how I keep everything looking consistent throughout, which is one of the biggest challenges that AI content creators run into. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Just before I do, if you want free resources on AI content creation, head on over to my school. It's completely free to join. Love to see you there. Let's begin. Okay, so for any AI film that you make, any project of any description, you need a plan going in. So you need a story, you need a plan, and you need to know what you need to make beforehand to execute this plan. So I've got my plan written out here. I've got my scenario. So for my story, very simple. Boy finds a ship's lantern. It's broken. He repairs it, drags it up a cliff, lights it again, and the light from the lantern helps his father come home. Simple story. And I've listed down here the material that I think I'll require for this, as well as some stuff about the length. So I'll just go through these in turn. So we need 2 character reference sheets, one for the boy and one for the father. We need 3 location references, and we probably need to do a reference for different weather states because there is a day to night shift and a weather change in the story. There is an object that exists in 2 distinct states, so that will need a reference. And we have some information about the length we're aiming for and how many shots we're going to require as a result down here at the bottom. So I've said, okay, the length is about 75 seconds. That is what we're aiming for. And my average shot length is going to be about 3 seconds. That's what I've decided ahead of time. And that equates to 25 images. And if you're curious why I do this average shot length calculation and how I arrived at this number of 25 images, I need to know roughly how many images I'm going to make for the project. And the only way of doing that is to know roughly how many times I need to cut in the edit. So if I've got a 75-second long project and I know I want to do a cut roughly every 3 seconds on average, then I can use that information by dividing 75 by 3 to get a rough number of images I'll actually need to make, which is 25. So you don't want to guess this part. You really do want to have a good idea of how many images you need going in. Because if not, you'll either make way too many or you'll make way too few. And both of those situations create their own problems. So you're better off before you do any prompting, just taking a little time and doing this. So we're going to make our reference material first. So I'm going to drag this over to Claude and we're going to make some image prompts for our reference material. So what I've done is I've pasted across my scenario here to this image prompting project space in Claude, and I've explained below what we're after. So I said it's time to make some image prompts. I'd like to make some reference material first, which is already listed. So we need 2 character reference sheets, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to hit go. We already know what we want. Now we'll just explain to Claude what we want. So in my project space, one of the things that I need to decide early on is a style closer for my images. That's going to be established first. Then we're going to make our character references, location references, etc. All right, so as you can see, it's giving me some options for the style closer. This is all baked in via my instructions. So this is why it's asking questions like this. Okay, so I'm leaning towards flat graphic 2D, so we're going to go with that. Now it's asking for color approach across day to night shift. So I'm going to go, let's go warm, nostalgic, amber. How stylized are the characters? Gently stylized, and actually strongly cartoon. Let's go with that. Now that it's got this information, it's going to move on to the next step. So it's even given us 3 options for the style closer. This is the one it's recommending, and it's probably the one I'm going to go with. Confirm, yeah. And once it's done all that, you get your style closer locked, and then we've got our references. Now these prompts are fully optimized, ready to go for Nano Banana Pro, so we can literally just drop them in, hit paste and go. So for that, we're going to use Higgsfield, and we're going to use Nano Banana Pro. And for these reference sheets, I'm going to use 9x16 dimensions, 2K quality, and we just copy the prompts across one at a time and hit go. So I'm going to switch over to 16x9 dimensions for the location references and back to 916 for the object reference. There we go. I'm just going to wait for all these to generate. You can already see that some of them have finished. Now for this one here, this 7th image where the lantern is restored, we actually needed to wait for this to generate first, because if we just pasted that across, we'd get a different output. Whereas we want this to look basically the same as this. So what I've done is I've added the image of the broken lamp as a reference, and then I've posted the prompt across. As you can see, I've also tagged this reference just to reinforce it in the prompt. And that is basically it for our reference material. We just have to wait for it all to finish generating now. All our reference material is done. Here's our main character, star of our show. There's the father. Here's our location references. There's the object. And there's the lantern restored. This is such a crucial step, and you cannot skip it if you want consistency. It's very important to do these stages. So now for every prompt we make at the actual image creation stage for the clips that we're actually going to bring to life and animate, we have references we can call upon to lock in that consistency. So we're going to proceed to that next. But first, we need a storyboard. Now, I'm going to move over to another project space in Claude to do that. Here's my storyboard in project space. Now we're going to post across that same scenario with all the information we need. And we're just going to paste across the scenario name. And what I've said is create a simple storyboard for this project. Let's do more images than we need. So 4 grid style shots. Now these grid style shots I've talked about over and over again on my channel. Once you see it, you'll understand completely why I do it this way. So it's going to read this. And again, this is a project space in Claude where all my techniques are baked in these guidelines, in this context space here. Project spaces are very, very useful. So we're going to let it do its thing and pick this back up when it's done. Okay, our storyboard is done. Here it is. I'll just take you through this first shot so you can get an idea of what this process looks like. So this is shorthand descriptions of what we want to see in our images. Now specifically, this is instructions for one image prompt for Nano Banana Pro. Now we've got 9 individual scenes it wants to depict here. Look at the terminology as well. We've got wide, we've got mid, close, and low angle, stuff like that. These are directorial terms. So these are like directorial instructions for our image prompting when we get to it. And each one of these frames tells the story. It's like advancing the story, like a storyboard does. So what we're going to do, we're going to take these 4, so that's how many we've got. I'm going to head on over back to our image prompting space and paste our storyboard across. Then I'm going to say the following. Here's my storyboard for this project. Let's turn this into 4 Nano Banana Pro ready image prompts. List above each image which reference will be needed. And what this project space converts that raw material into is prompts that look like this. You can see the style closer coming into effect at the end. We established this early on, and here it is again. Yeah, these prompts look long, but there is a logic to them and a structure that is repeatable every single time I do an image prompt on Nano Banana Pro. So it's telling us what references to use at the top here as well, so we know what to attach. I'm going to copy the prompt across, paste it in, change these dimensions to 16:9. Now we're going to switch up to 4K, because we're going to need 4K quality for this technique. So I'm going to drag in our references, and I'm going to find these where they're mentioned here, and just add them, or should I say tag them. So we're just reinforcing what we're actually referencing. Okay, that's the first one, good to go. Let's hit go and do the next one. So it's really simple. I'm just pasting my prompts across, adding my reference material and tagging it in the prompt. And it's just rinse, wash, repeat. And what you end up with is something that looks like this. So this is our entire story, basically, told across 4 images, 9 frames in each one. Now you can see that there is a bit of drift with the character between each one. Like, he looks consistent here, kind of loses it a bit here. The hair color changes here. There's probably the worst one for the character, whereas he looks good here and then just loses it a bit here. Well, now we can fix this. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in on this image. I'm just going to copy this across. I'm going to drag this in here. I'm going to do a spot edit. And I've said, change the character in every frame of image 1 so he matches the character in image 2 perfectly without changing any of the other content of image 1. I'm going to see if that fixes our issue. And while we wait for that, do you see the logic of doing the images like this, doing these grid style shots? I could have done 9 individual images with Nano Banana like that, but not only would it have taken longer and cost more credits, it also would have lacked as much consistency as this. Now, because you've locked in the references and you're doing it all within one prompt, there's much less room for it to drift. Let's see if our spot edit fixed the issue we were having. I would say yes. Amazing. Well, that's fixed now. What do we need to do now? Well, we need to download our images and then split them down to the individual frames. you end up with something that looks like this. I like to number them so I can keep them in order. It's very important to not lose track of everything. So this is all in sequential order. Then I've split every frame down to an individual clip. So what do we need to do now? Well, we need to start animating. Okay, so my animation prompts are here, all good to go. And really all this stage is just a case of dropping each of these frames in here, pasting across my prompt and hitting go. So I'm using Kling 3.0. My clip length is set to 5 seconds. Quality is at 720p. Just hit go and there you go. And we have to do this 36 times for each image. Okay, so our animations are done. Let's have a quick look at some of them. Okay, these all look good. What I do next is I download them, add them into a folder like this, keep everything numbered in order once again, just so that it's easier later on in the process. Speaking of which, the next part is assembly, i.e. final edit. So I'm going to drag these into CapCut, which is what I use. When it comes to editing, we're just going through these clips one at a time and stitching the whole thing together. And yeah, that's a very rough, basic first edit. I am going to turn the sound effects down a little bit. So I'm going to extract the audio, just turn that down a tad. And the other thing you can do when you've got your first edit is start looking for music. I'm going to use Epidemic Sound for this. And I'm going to go with that. Drag it into the timeline here, turn that down too. Okay, there you go. Now you could make a longer project with this. You could do a 10-minute one. You could do an hour-long one if you've got the credits. It's really up to you. The only thing that holds us back these days is the know-how and our creativity. So there you go. That is the entire process that I would use to make AI cartoons start to finish. If you have any more questions, please drop them in the comments. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And remember to go and check out my Skool for free resources and more tutorials on AI content. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.